Today, we're going to get down to the root of all unhappiness and how we can fix it from the inside out.
Life is beautiful.
So I was walking with a friend the other day and we're just shooting the shit about life. And she says something that made my spidey senses tingle. She says, my life is a dumpster fire. And I didn't say anything the first time she said it. I just let her vent to me. And I said, I'm going to let this go because I hate to be the guy who gives people advice or does anything like that. I like to be a listener. But then 20 minutes later, we're talking, and she says the same thing again. She says, it's because my life is just like a dumpster fire, And this time, once again, my spidey senses go up, and I'm like, oh, not good that she's saying that is my inner monologue. But I'm like, I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm not going to tell her. Then a third time, she says it again. My life is a dumpster fire. And I stopped. I said, I have to interrupt you. I'm sorry. I love you. And as a friend, I'm going to ask you, can I just tell you something straight? And she says, yeah, of course. I mean, you could always tell me what you want to tell me. And I said, you need to stop describing your life as a dumpster fire, please. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Stop describing your life as a dumpster fire. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, we've been talking for maybe 30 minutes. And in those 30 minutes, I've mentally noted 3 separate times that you've used the exact words that your life is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, she's basically setting herself up to have a life that is a dumpster fire.
Exactly. And I'm like, what do you expect is going to happen when the narrative in your brain is that your life is a dumpster fire? Your life will be a dumpster fire. Your brain will look for things that make your life a dumpster fire.
What you look for, you will find.
Exactly. And the reason I was able to recognize it and just tell it to her straight is because you have been that person for me so many times where I will feel like my life is a dumpster fire, and I maybe wouldn't say my life is a dumpster fire. Those are not the words I would use, but I would say something like, my life feels like a living hell, or like another analogy that's just as bad. My life feels like, I don't know, a shithole.
Yeah, it's crazy. These little secret analogies that we say, we don't realize how powerful they really are, how much weight they actually hold on us, right?
Yeah, analogies are the shortest form of stories.
Yes.
And stories are really another way of saying the beliefs that your mind is holding, right? So when you say my life is a dumpster fire, that is an analogy, that is a story, but that is also a belief. And there is so much power that comes from beliefs. Beliefs have the power to change your body.
Yeah, for sure. Well, just the concept of words itself. Words themselves are spells. And they can be used for good or bad, right? In this case, they were used for bad, right? But Muhammad Ali used them for good all the time, right? He would say that he was the greatest before he won a single title. People laughed at him. Reporters mocked him. The fighters that he was fighting thought he was a nut job. But he said it so many times.
Yep.
And what did he do? He casted a
greatest.
spell that made him the greatest.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I love that story. I love Muhammad Ali. He's a very inspirational figure. But we did also find some crazy scientific studies about the power of belief that I still don't really believe they're real, but they are. That's how crazy these are. So one of these studies, they took 150 people in New Zealand and they split them up into 2 groups where they gave half of these people just plain tonic water and they told them, listen, you're drinking tonic water. And then they gave the other half tonic water, but they made it an illusion where they thought they were actually drinking vodka tonics. So what they did was they took unopened vodka bottles, opened them up in front of these people, and rather than pouring out vodka, they were secretly tonic water in there. So they were seeing vodka being poured, but there was no actual vodka being poured. And then to complete the illusion, they got limes that they put on the rim of the glasses they gave these people, but the limes were dipped in vodka. So when they went to drink their glass, they smelled vodka in the lime, and it completed this illusion that they really believed they were drinking vodka.
Wow, these experimenters really thought about every angle here.
They really did. 2 hours later, after a couple of drinks, quote unquote drinks, The group that thought they were drinking vodka started slurring their speech, stumbling over themselves. They actually thought that they were drunk. And they were later told, like, you actually didn't drink a sip of alcohol. And they were mind blown. They were like, what do you mean? I really did feel intoxicated.
Wow.
So that just goes to show the power of the mind. Then there was another one done in a hospital where they split people into 3 groups, people who needed knee surgery. 2 of these groups got 2 actual knee surgeries done where they structurally changed parts of the knee or replaced parts of the knee. But the 3rd group, they made incisions. They put these people under, made incisions in the knee, but didn't actually change anything. They just like did surface level on the skin incisions. 2 years later, all 3 groups had the same level of physical activity. All 3 groups had the same level of healing in their knees. So the people who believed they got knee surgery basically healed their knee just as well as the people who actually got knee surgery.
It goes back to what you're saying about the power of story, the stories we tell ourselves. And I'll just end with one final thing, which is the Roger Bannister story, right? The 4-minute mile was this impossible thing to accomplish. This guy runs the 4-minute mile, and after that, everyone else was able to do it, which goes back to this concept of the story had now changed. People believed that this was possible, and now all of a sudden, everyone started doing it.
Yeah. So I want to wrap up with why this matters for you today. And it's really about what story are you telling yourself about your life? And even more specifically, what story are you telling yourself about today? What are you thinking about today? Are you thinking that today is a disaster? Are you thinking that today is going to be a hard day? Are you thinking today is going to be challenging? Or are you thinking today is a gift? Today is another opportunity. Today is a blessing. Today is, I don't know, you got any?
I think you covered them all.
Today's a miracle.
The moral of the story is the story that you tell yourself matters.
So the call to action is to decide on a metaphor you are going to describe your life today. So is it today is a gift? Today is a miracle? What are you gonna choose?
I'll use yours there. Today's a gift. Every day above ground is a gift, and it'll allow me to really appreciate every moment I got here.
You could be dead.
On that note, we will end it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you.
Peace.